Hi guys, long time no see. Today I'm going to bring you a quick memory aid to help you remember Newton's 3 laws of motion. So for each of the laws, I'm going to use the number of which law we're talking about to try to help you remember which one goes with which number. So if we start with what is Newton's first law of motion, we're going to have Newton's first law of motion is an object at rest tends to remain at rest, and an object in motion tends to continue moving in a straight line at constant speed unless an outside force acts upon it. That's Newton's first law of motion using the number one hand. All right, now we have Newton's second law of motion, and we'll use the number two hand. What is Newton's second law of motion? Newton's second law of motion is, oh yeah, now I remember. Newton's second law of motion is, and this one's a little bit confusing for the little guys because it goes really fast. There's a bunch of little motions. You don't have to do them all, and it's really confusing because you use a two hand over here, but you use a number one hand over here, which is kind of obnoxious. All right, so it says Newton's second law of motion is force, do you see my letter F? Force equals mass, oops, that one's hard to see, mass times acceleration, or F equals M times A. Okay, now we have Newton's third law of motion, and this one's really kind of goofy. I think of a funny little robot going like that. What is Newton's third law of motion? Newton's third law of motion is for every action, there's an equal, you see the equal sign between my fingers? For every action, there's an opposite reaction. Okay, so doing a quick recap. Newton's first law of motion is an object at rest tends to remain at rest, and an object in motion tends to continue moving in a straight line at constant speed unless an outside force acts upon it. What is Newton's second law of motion? Newton's second law of motion is force equals mass times acceleration, F equals M times A. What is Newton's third law of motion? Newton's third law of motion is for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. That's it. See y'all next time.